everyone. This week, let's talk about what seems to be the 5 aspects of a photographer. We're either shooting, um, we're doing some business-related stuff, either showing off what we did for a client, or billing, or handling that kind of back office type stuff. We are learning new things, right? Going online or watching somebody else's work or just viewing somebody else's work. We are experimenting with our own methods to see if we're real happy with the way we're doing things or we want to change our style up a little bit. And last week we talked about adding the 5th tier to that, which is going out and enjoying life, right? Doing things from the other side of without the camera, right? So you may have that mindset that you're always looking for a good shot, but you don't have the camera, so that's okay. Or you may be looking at something, thinking of a new way to come up with it. Again, one of our aspects, but that's okay. You're not doing it, you're actually going out and enjoying the friends and family that you were out with. But let's talk about something a little bit different this time. And in a way, and I apologize for the lawnmower in the background, in a way, this is something that's along the same lines as our learning, and that's teaching. Now, I've been doing several different skills for a while at this point, and no matter which skill it is, I always get a deeper understanding and a better grasp on it when I have to teach it. And the reason I think that is because we look at it differently. Just like when you go out and look at a shot, or you look at somebody else's work and go, I never would have thought to look at it that way. That's what you do when you teach, because teaching does 2 things. You get the chance to see things, again, from the beginning, and you might see something differently as you're going through and doing that. But the other aspect to that is you are being questioned by the student, right? The person that you're trying to teach this to is asking you questions, and it may allow you to look at things differently that way as well. Now, unfortunately, there's not a lot of photo programs out there at schools. Same thing comes with ham radio and a bunch of other, I guess, more esoteric would be the term for it, hobbies. Should be, just from a balanced perspective as far as I'm concerned. There's too few things that are out there that require a good amount of thought, right? That actually have to be handled by the school. It's talking a chess club or something like that. Well, chess set is inexpensive. When we're talking photography, that's not inexpensive. And some of that stuff can be donated, but the school still has to have a place to put it and somebody to teach. So you might want to look along those lines and see if you can have an influence on the next set of photographers out there. Colleges sometimes do have photography clubs. As a matter of fact, the first person I'd ever run across who had done something like that, the high school used to host a gem and mineral show. And if you've never seen those, it's where a bunch of vendors come in with different unique rocks, almost all of them polished, so they look their best. Some are in the raw. And people come in to purchase them, obviously, and some things are a little bit more exotic, such as a entire chess or checker set made of stone. I have one. It's beautiful and it's heavy. But you would see things like that at these events. And it came to it was at the high school. So we had a photographer who was there, who was a college student. And they were required to shoot a roll of film a week. Now, a lot of people are going to go, a roll of what? A roll of film does not allow you a lot of the do-overs that you get with digital for a couple of reasons. One, you don't get a chance to see the picture you just took, right? There's no way for you to know if you took a good shot other than when you look through the viewfinder, and some of these cameras had the viewfinder did not go through the lens the way the digitals do today. You're trying to frame the shot. You have no meter on your camera telling you if you've got the exposure correct. If you're not looking through the lens, you don't even know if you quite got it focused quite right. You're kind of taking a shot there, right? So that's where a lot of autofocus cameras came into their day, was you're looking through a viewfinder as opposed to looking through the lens. So did you get it? There's no way for you to know if you got it in focus. But even the ones that you look through the lens, you can't see that image until the film is processed. And the film's not going to be processed until the roll is done, because you can't take a picture out of that roll and process it and go see what it looks like. So you don't know if you need to reshoot what you did until after you've done it. It can be a challenging way to do it. And this was pre-digital, so there was no choice. This wasn't, you're going to shoot 300. Probably today you're going to shoot 300 to 400 photographs and pick out the top 30, and that's what you're going to present to your teacher. Here, you're going to shoot a roll of film a week. Doing that forces you to find a whole bunch of things to take pictures of, right? That learning and that experimenting aspect of us is pulled in at this point, because we have to go figure out what it is we're going to shoot, and not shoot the same thing over and over again. But being able to step into that role of helping somebody to compose a picture, to frame it, to get the right angles, the right lighting. Now, because this stuff is going to be post-processed, getting the right contrast, getting the right color, maybe doing some color grading to it, changing the color balance a little bit, maybe changing the white balance a little bit. There's a whole slew of things that you can now teach somebody. And some things you probably just took for granted. I know when I do shoots, I have a fixed set of modifications I make to the digital, and they're stored. So I just hit the button and they're changed. Same with my videos. I have several cameras around the house, and they capture wildlife. And I've got a set of presets for both the camera and the time of day. Like, is it a night vision shot? Is it a normal daytime shot? So I have them in there and they apply. Well, after a certain while, you forget what you set. You go look them up, obviously. You can just go look at the other side of the panel for Lightroom or the other side of the panel for Premiere and go see what the settings are that you did. But they're, again, just something that you set up. Having to start over with somebody else for something along those lines gives you a new appreciation for what you did. And maybe you'll see something in there that you just want to do differently this time. Again, leading back to that experimentation and that learning, while you're actually helping somebody else find their voice through light, helping them find their what they want to say and how they want to say it through their photographs. So I think that's something that every photographer should keep in mind. And if it's something as simple as not doing it formal, but you're seeing somebody taking a picture and they're having difficulty with it, or they look unsure about something, talk to them about it. I had one photographer at the fort who had a film camera and was shooting indoors. Now, shooting indoors at the fort in the most lighted area that they have, I'm at 1600 ISO, and I'm down to 80, 1/80th of a second. That's really tough. I can see that because I can look at the light meter on the camera. Plus, it was a setting that I've used now for a couple of years, so I'm familiar with that setting. When you're doing film and you're trying to do something like that, the only way you can do it and get to know that setting is to shoot it at different settings. And film does not allow you to change your ISO. So if you're shooting 400 ISO film, you've got your settings so low that any small movement of a person is going to cause blur. That's just the way it is. But you won't know that until the film is processed. And I used to shoot ISO 1000 a lot, because the other problem you've got with a film camera is you can't swap film, right? Digital camera, spin the dial, change your ISO, and you're good to go. But when you're talking about film, you're stuck with what's in the camera. And if you expect to have a bright, sunny day and you've got 400 speed film in there, expect some dark pictures if it suddenly becomes very overcast or a storm rolls in. Or if you're inside, you may have nothing in there that you can really see on the film. Now, just like you can with a digital, you can play with certain things in the lab afterwards, but not a lot of people have a lab. It's a lot easier to do it in Lightroom than it is to have a full developer lab with your enlarger and all the chemicals necessary to either process the film or process photographs afterwards. And if you lose it because there's not enough light, you've lost it. There's nothing in there that you're going to be able to bring back, no matter how much extra light you add to the background of it to try to pull that back out. So, film is a great way to make somebody very conscious about each and every photograph they take. So it is something that you could do is a class, right? So if you found a high school or something like that that was interested in doing that, or we're doing a hobby type thing at a college, there's a lot of film cameras out there that people don't use anymore, so you can probably pick them up fairly cheaply, or the school could pick them up fairly cheaply for use for a class like this. But again, it can be very frustrating shooting film and then realizing that what you've got done is not what you looked for. So bear that in mind, and you get back to framing and paying attention to light and just getting used to being able to see things in a way that is different than somebody else would, right? Because you now have to account for what lighting that you've got. And after a certain point, we all know that we get to the point where we can figure out what our settings should be fairly readily without looking at it, and then just check the meter to make sure that we got everything set properly. It's another thing, if you're not familiar with light meters and you're shooting film, then you get familiar with light meters, right? So if you've got a bunch of students who are using film, you've got to have a light meter for them. And that's going to make them a little less frustrated and help them get better pictures, because they'll know what to expect and what they can possibly get from it, and allow them to change that shutter speed more accurately in order to get a photograph. So, adding a sixth tier to our set here. Last week we added in the smell the roses, enjoy life as you can, and this week we're talking about passing on what we know and helping others find their voice. So that's what I got for you guys this week. I will talk to you all next week.